Hey campers! Hi campers and welcome back.
Oh my God.
Welcome back to Camp Insomnia.
Yo, welcome back.
Welcome back. I am your camp counselor, Zach, and I remembered my name this time. Congratulations to me. Last episode,
I'm so proud of you, sweetie.
I paused. I don't know what was going on. I was like, my name is Zach. Who am I?
Like, disassociated moment. What?
Yeah, I really did. I don't even know what's going on. Anyways.
You're doing great, sweetie. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Anyways, yes. And I am your camp counselor, Dolores.
Well, hello, Dolores.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. How you doing?
I'm here
Yeah.
trying to live my best life.
Yeah, clearly.
Oh, God. Well, hi, you guys. If you guys are new to the podcast, welcome. You are now officially a camper.
Yay, you made it.
Hey, you made it. And if this is your first episode listening, this is part 3 of Ed Gein. If you want to go back to part 1, I think that's episode 10. You can listen to the beginning of Ed Gein and learn all about him.
Oh, yes.
If you don't want to do that and you hate me, then don't listen to it. But cool. Welcome to this chaotic podcast. It's Paranormal and True Crime. And today is part 3, like I said, of Ed Gein.
Oh, yeah. I'm really excited about this.
We're going to talk about his cauldron and other artifacts that Zach Bagans has.
Ooh, let's go.
Ayo. So without further ado, let's gather around the campfire.
Go ahead and grab your blankies, get cozy, roast those marshmallows and weenies.
Roast them. Also, we have kicked Timmy and Tommy out into the forest.
Yeah, sorry.
They'll eventually be back. They just were misbehaving so much.
We told them, just go find those stairs. Let Jacob do.
And we called their parents. Said, "Is that okay?" They said, "Hell yeah!" They said, "Do it. Teach them a lesson." So,
the goddamn nuisances.
Let's hope Jacob finds them, and Jacob will just,
We'll just start a tribe.
Yeah, it's a little tribe in the forest. All right, you guys. So Ed Gein's cauldron.
Here we go.
So last we left off, Ed Gein had died due to, I think, respiratory issues. He died at age 77, and he only confessed to 2 murders, and he dug up bodies.
Yep.
Right? That's where we left off. And the people, they made a lot of movies off of him. And the movie that I forgot was Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs, and he would skin women and wear them.
Yeah.
Very psycho, very crazy character. Thank God that one was fictional, but it was based off a real person, which is Ed Gein. So let's talk about Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum.
My favorite.
Your favorite. We did a whole episode on Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum. Zach Bagans is a paranormal investigator. He has a show on Travel Channel called Ghost Adventures. Very, 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 very popular and famous. I love me some Zach Bagans. Please hire me. Please, I'll edit. I'm a creative director. I'll do it, please. Help a bro out.
I'll
even change my name so there's no Zachs on the team, okay?
Oh my God.
I'll even change my name.
There can only be one.
So he has a museum in Vegas that Dolores and I both visited, and this museum is a collection of artifacts that are either paranormal or just like really odd.
Yeah, just oddities.
Yeah, oddities. So he did have a spin-off show called Deadly Possessions, and on episode 5 of season 1, Zach Bagans allowed people to bring haunted items to his museum. And on this specific episode in this specific season, a man brought in Ed Gein's cauldron. So this cauldron was apparently used to store entrails and body parts of Ed Gein's victims. And many believed Ed Gein would cook the entrails and of the dead in this cast iron cauldron.
Ew.
Yeah, that's what they believe. And Zach was like, I need it. I want it in my museum. Because, that's what you do.
I think that meme. Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, shut up and take my money, please. So Zach bought this cauldron at an auction in Plainfield, Wisconsin, where this all happened. And it was huge news to the town of Plainfield. Zach had also purchased a shovel as well that had belonged to Ed Gein.
Yeah.
So he bought these 2 things. The man named Dan McIntyre, McIntyre. That's
Okay.
a weird last name. His grandmother somehow was able to buy Ed Gein's cauldron in the 1950s at Ed Gein's farmhouse, like at his auction.
Ah, that's what they got. Okay.
So in this case, this episode, Zach Bagans brings Dan McIntyre to the museum to talk about the shovel and the cauldron.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I bought this from your grandma. How about you come in and let's talk about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Dan is super interested to hear what Zach thinks of these artifacts from Ed Gein's home. He's like, why are you so interested in these things? And Zach's like, no, have you experienced anything with these things? I'm super interested in it because I like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So Dan walks into the room with the shovel and greets Zach, and they're both very, very excited to meet one another. Zach calls him a grave digger because he brings in the shovel. But now thinking about it, it's very dark. He goes, oh, you look like such a grave digger with that shovel. And it's like, Ed Gein used that shovel to dig up dead people.
Legit.
Haha, Zach. Haha, it's so funny. Haha. Super dark. You got me. So Zach then asks Dan how this cauldron has affected him and his family and the various people around him, such as friends and cousins. And Dan said it had an effect. I cannot read. I'm having a moment. I'm having one of those moments.
Breathe.
I'm having one of those moments.
Breathe, sweetie.
He said that it had supernaturally affected his life and the families around him's life.
Okay.
And then he said it was cursed.
Mm.
This cauldron's cursed, which doesn't shock me because there's a lot of tragedy that came with this cauldron.
Yeah, exactly.
So Dan elaborates that his grandmother was an antique dealer and collector and would go to auctions. She had went to an auction and purchased a cauldron and shovel that were later identified as Ed Gein's belongings. Wow. Dan then goes on to say that his grandmother was friends with a neighbor named Hollis Brown, who was also close neighbors with Ed Gein. And when the discovery of all these bones, skins, and bodies were found, the police were very sick to their stomachs, as you can believe.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the police couldn't remove the bodies from where they were hanging due to being so sick and grossed out. So they had reached out to a couple of neighbors to come help get the bodies down and get up the remains.
Oh. Way to bring in other people to traumatize them.
Yeah. So they reached out to none other than that neighbor, Hollis Brown. Neighbors helped take down these bodies of the people that they knew. So they knew Bernice Warden.
Oh.
They knew these people that were on the walls that were skinned. Because remember, he stuffed these faces of people that were buried.
Yeah, these are
people that recently had passed.
Yeah, and
these
that's
are all
that's
people
all
of the community that they knew.
Yeah, it's all the same townspeople, so of course everyone's gonna know them. I'm wondering if they also let them do it because think about it legally. That's a big no-no.
Yeah,
but I'm wondering if maybe to help also identify everyone.
Yeah, it could be it too. And also, the cops were just sick to they couldn't even handle it themselves. So. Might as well bring in other people. I don't know.
That sounds weird, you know?
Yeah, no, it is really weird. So because everyone knew one another, so neighbors were just showing shock by seeing that their other neighbors that were dead just a week ago are now on this wall.
Mm-hmm.
So they're mortified. I would be mortified too. Although I'm not friends with any of my neighbors, so I wouldn't be able to identify them. So during this time, while this was happening, while this was happening, they were taking the bodies down. Hollis was able to positively identify the cauldron because he remembers seeing the cauldron in the shed.
Oh.
Yeah, so he goes, this cauldron was in fact Ed Gein's.
Oh, God.
So when Hollis told Dan this, Dan didn't believe his testimony. He's like, sure you saw this. Sure you did. You just want to be part of the story. He's like, no, I'm serious. So Hollis and Ed Gein, Hollis went to later on to tell more to Dan, okay, well, you're going to believe me because I have many experiences with Ed. He was my neighbor. So Hollis said Ed Gein and him would help Ed's family cook hog fat in that cauldron back in the day. And they would move that cauldron when they were done cooking to the farm shed, where he remembers seeing this thing.
Yeah.
Dan still didn't believe him, and he believed him. And once the old man was raised up his sleeves and said, "Look at my goosebumps I have right now," like, I'm not lying about this. This is really terrifying. The fact that I was neighbors with this guy and I helped cook something in that cauldron he would later use to keep entrails in is terrifying. And I have to live with that now. Even though he didn't realize he was doing that.
Uh-huh.
And Dan believed him.
Question.
Yeah.
What are entrails?
Entrails are like your intestines. Like your guts.
Oh.
Yeah, like entrails. So like your organs, everything in your stomach.
Oh, okay.
Your whole body cavity.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I was confused.
I can show you a picture.
No, thank you.
So Hollis then told Dan he was scared of the cauldron and didn't want to go near it whatsoever. And it reminded him of that scary night when he was taking down the bodies.
Oh.
Yeah. So at this point in the episode, Zach is like, whoa, what? Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Dan then goes on to say that he was about 8 years old when he was often told that the cauldron was owned by a mass murderer. So even at 8, people were like, oh, that cauldron out there we own, that belonged to a fucking crazy guy. He didn't believe it, and he thought it was just like a bunch of hocus pocus. Like, oh, they're just family joke, I guess. That's a weird joke, but whatever. So Dan then says that his grandmother would often plant flowers in the cauldron and leave it outside.
Why?
She didn't like cooking in it because of the fact that,
Well, yeah, no.
hello, but she just used it as like a flower planter. Yeah, so Zach Bagans was like, what? Just like your face right now.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, what the heck? So Zach is like, why would your grandmother, knowing who Ed Gein was, why was she willing to purchase this cauldron? Hello. Knowing that body parts were presumably cooked in it and then stored in it. Mm-hmm. Like, why would she buy this? Dan was like, I don't know. I don't know. She never owned anything like macabre before, so he didn't quite know what was going through his grandmother's head. Like, why would she buy this to begin with if she knew the dark history behind it?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's not like there's good memories behind it or anything.
Yeah. So Dan said that they usually kept it in their garage for a time before, of course, it became this like planter box. And every time entering it and seeing it, he said he would always really get creeped out about it and get a terrible feeling.
Side note.
Yeah.
We saw that thing in person.
Yeah,
that
we
thing's
did.
fucking huge.
It's a huge cauldron.
How are they moving that thing around? It's so...
I don't know. And that's a cast iron. That thing's heavy.
Yeah, I remember them saying it's like... I forgot how much it weighs, but it was a crazy amount of weight to it. It's like, yeah, solid cast iron, huge. Like,
Pot.
goes up to maybe our average person heights, like, hip.
Yeah.
You know?
Uh-huh.
It's huge.
So
How are they moving this around? I'm sorry, I just thought about that.
Well, they probably just kept it in the garage for a long period of time, never used it. I think the grandma... Maybe it's like one of those macabre things. She's like, ooh, I own a piece of history. It's a really dark piece of history, but at least I own it.
But even so, like them, how you talked about them cooking in it and stuff, and then moving it. How the fuck are y'all doing that?
Muscles, they're farm hands, man.
Jesus.
They got that muscle. So Zach then gets rid of Dan. I joke about it because they cut to someone else.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm like, Zach was like, that's enough. He moved on. But he brings in Hollis Brown's son,
okay.
Carneth. He brings his son Carneth. Since Hollis had passed and could not attend, he brings in the son of this man. He passed away of January of 2012.
Oh.
So not recent, but within the century.
Yeah.
So Carneth enters the room and is low-key very off-putting. He's kind of a weird dude.
Well, it seems like everyone from that place is
Yeah.
weird.
But he's really off-putting.
Okay.
Zach and him become introduced, and they begin to talk about the events around Ed Gein and his cauldron. Mm-hmm. And this cauldron, I mean. Zach then asks if his father had any stories surrounding the cauldron, and that maybe he had told his son, like anything more than what Dan had known. Carneth says yes, and he wouldn't go near this thing, and every time he saw it in the McIntyre garage, the hairs on his body would stand up, and it would remind him of when he would help take down Bernice Warden's body. Decapitated, hanging upside down body.
Yeah.
And Hollis would tell his son this all the time. Carneth then tells how his own grandmother had a run-in with Ed Gein. I guess Ed Gein was trying to take her daughter off property, like flirting with her, and then got really aggressive and was like, you're gonna come with me now. And his grandmother saw this and got her shotgun out and was like, get out of here or die. Like, what are you doing with my daughter?
Wow.
Like, fuck off. And Ed Gein then scurried off. It was a really weird interaction, but knowing what we know now, that could have been his next victim.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grandma.
Yeah, thank you, Grandma, with that shotgun, literally. Zach then does say, is it possible that Ed Gein would have tried to kill your aunt? Karna says, as crazy as he was, I think he could have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zach then brings Dan back, and then they continue to talk, so it goes back to Dan again.
Mm-hmm.
Dan says that Hollis Brown saw way more than just Bernice Warden hung up in the shed, but way more disturbing shit.
Oh.
Hollis says that there was another body hanging in the shed, but also next to that body were 2 barrels, and on one side of the barrel was the cauldron.
Uh-huh.
Hollis said that definitely one of the barrels, it was filled with blood and guts. Yeah, this is Hollis's testimony.
There's no way then it could only be 2 people like we were talking about.
Well, it could have been a body that he probably exhumed from the grave and then hung up.
Yeah, but when you think about, intestines and blood and all that, like in my head, the first thought is, oh, fresh,
Yeah, and then that doesn't make sense because usually when a body's prepared for burial, they're usually drained of blood, and they're like...
They're already, embalmed, all that crap. So...
Exactly. That's what I mean. A lot of people think that he killed way more than just these 2 women.
Yeah. Oh, weird.
That makes sense. So by this time, Zach Bagans was like, holy shit. Like, whoa. Like, this is nuts. Like, you don't find this stuff in the research I did because this is a testimony that wasn't taken.
Yeah.
So this is all new information. And Zach was like, whoa. And a lot of people were like, whoa.
It's all firsthand experiences at this point.
Mm-hmm. So then Zach lifts off items that the police found in Ed Gein's home. So to recap, what those were, here they are again. So you get to live with this all over again.
Oh, yay.
Yay. They had found in his home, they had found bowls that were made of the tops of human skulls, bone trinkets, a nipple belt, nipples on strings, a pair of lips on a window shade drawstring, a lampshade made for the face of a human, fingernails of a woman's fingers, lampshades made from human skin, chairs upholstered in human skin, wastebasket made from a human skin, skulls on his bedposts, Bernice Warden's entire head in a burlap sack, 4 noses, a corset skinned from a woman from shoulders to waist, Bernice Warden's heart in a plastic bag, face masks made from the heads of victims, then he would take them and then stuff them with cotton or rags and then hang them on his walls as decoration. Dan then says this was not everything.
God, it gets worse.
And then Hollis Brown saw more. Hollis said that Ed Gein had a doorbell, but it wasn't a normal doorbell. It was a nipple doorbell.
Oh my God.
Doorbell made from a nipple.
Who would push that?
Oh, well, I don't know. I didn't notice like that doorbell.
Why does it look
resembles
weird?
A nipple.
Like, haha, you got that from the gag store. Oh, that's so funny.
Wow, a nipple doorbell. Yikes.
Oh my God.
Dan says that, then goes on to say that his dad and his cousins went to go clean out Ed Gein's garage and shed. Well, before the auction and the burn down of everything. Dan suddenly gets very quiet and emotional when he says this, and he starts turning in his seat, and Zach was like, are you okay? Like, after you said that, you got like very shut down, like very emotional. Dan says that it's all very coincidental that all the people who cleaned out the garage, Ed Gein's garage, had suddenly died within 18 months after.
No.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some of them could be explained. Others were very strange, like falling down steps, surgery complications, cancer, etc. He said it was all very weird, and maybe helping clean up this place had something to do with their deaths within this 18 months, but he's not sure.
That's too coincidental.
Yeah. Everybody that helped clean out that garage died within 18 months.
Wow.
That's
weird. So weird.
Mm-hmm. Zach then asks, will I be in any danger from owning this cauldron? Dan then says, don't be surprised if you're knocking on Devil's door, and he answers.
I mean...
That's a fact. Like,
Zach already has plenty of those kind of things.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and this is just one of them.
Just take the next gamble, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Minus 10 years off your life, Zach. It then cuts back to the interview with Karnath and Zach. Karnath states that he knows Dan's family. He has known Dan for over like 30 plus years.
Okay.
Zach then asked if Dan has been affected by this cauldron, and Carneth says yes, he has. Dan said that he has gotten sick from all the negative energy that radiates off of this item, and he is glad to be rid of it. And Carneth has also been affected by this sickness as well, just by being around it. Okay, so suddenly, during this interview, Zach gets a message that people who are going to bring Ed Gein's fucking skis that he would ski on cannot make it, because they were also gonna come on the show and talk about these skis. That was skis. That was the other item that no one ever talks about. So instead, the people that couldn't make it, they sent their daughter Courtney and her boyfriend Derek instead.
Why couldn't
with
they
these
go?
skis? I'll get into that.
Okay.
So, well, the minute Zach meets with them, she's like, "Oh yeah, my parents couldn't come bring the skis themselves because my sister had a stroke. So they're with her right now, and we think it's because of the skis. So I'm here. So here I am. Hello. Yeah.
These weird coincidences.
Yeah, they're like, we're here because, my sister probably had a stroke because of these skis, and here we are. So she looks very opaque, like very pale, and then she starts to like look off camera, like just like zone out, and is like, it could also be because Ed wants us to tell the story. Like very creepily, like literally she stops, looks off camera. It could be because Ed wants us to tell the story.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, Zach is like, okay, weirdo. Okay. Well, did you know Dan's family that came into contact with the cauldron all mysteriously died 18 months later? And Courtney is looking at him like, I'm gonna die? And so is my family?
Oh my God.
Like, fuck. Well, shit, that makes sense.
Is he pertaining to that to the skis or to the cauldron?
The cauldron.
Okay.
He's like, Dan's family came in contact with that cauldron, and they all died within 18 months. And they have these skis, and your sister just had a stroke, and you've also come into contact with it. So you might be seeing Jesus a little early, lady. And she's like, well, shit. So to make things even more creepy with Courtney, because she's a little weird in this interview, she then says that her and her boyfriend often go to Ed Gein's property, and they have been trying to communicate with his spirit.
What is wrong with them?
Well, first of all, they're both kind of weird. Not to like judge anybody, but they're both weird. And the boyfriend's even weirder.
I feel really weird right now.
I think because we're talking about this shit. And it's already spooky in my room, as it is. Don't think about it.
I'm like super uncomfortable.
So Courtney and her man are out here on Ed Gein's property, and she's asking the spirit to add oh God, I cannot speak. Ooh, now you're getting me all freaked out.
I'm sorry. I think I know why I am freaked out.
Why?
Because the way you described her, you know what it reminded me of? The movie The Fourth Kind, when they pan to the real life interview of the chick in the wheelchair. Mm-hmm. That's the first thought I had of what she looked like.
Ooh.
And how she acts.
Okay.
Because she acts weird in that too, from what she's experienced. So just those, like, that movie made me feel weird. Now I feel weird. I don't know. Okay. Well, sorry.
She's not in a wheelchair and she can walk. She doesn't look like that lady.
That's not what I'm talking about. That is not okay. That's not what I meant.
So Courtney and her man are out there on this property, and she's asking Ed's spirit to stand next to her boyfriend so that they can take a picture of them together.
Why?
Yeah. So suddenly, Derek, the boyfriend, while this is happening, feels a presence next to him, and he's starting to freak out. He can feel something next to him.
What the fuck did you expect?
I know, right? You just asked him. So Courtney says that she had captured a mist that was standing next to her boyfriend, and it moved from one side to the other. Then the mist moved towards her, and they freaked out and ran. Yeah, literally.
What do you expect?
What do you expect? Zach then says, "Are you regretful for calling Ed Gein's spirit out like that?" And she goes, "Nah, I'd do it again."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
These people.
Yeah. She then says she has been to this property a couple times and says she goes so much it's like she goes religiously.
Why?
People are really wackadocious sometimes. I mean, as a paranormal investigator, yes, go to the property, try to see if you can get any evidence. But
That's so different, though.
But the fact that you keep going and like you're so attracted to this place is a little much. A lot of really bad things happened here, and it's probably I'm already getting like a really bad feeling about this place. I wouldn't go religiously, lady.
No, I mean, like, us going to like the haunted museum is one thing,
Yeah.
because it's a lot of it attracts us to it, and you know, the things that are in there and the stories and whatnot. It's one thing. Actually visiting the real thing,
Something else.
I don't like that.
No. Well, Zach is like, well, y'all want to see the cauldron and use my spirit box to communicate with it?
Oh my god.
Because they haven't these Derek and Courtney had never seen the cauldron.
Oh.
And so Courtney, creepy as hell, is like, hell yeah, boy, let's go.
It's like a wet dream for her.
Yeah, literally. As they're setting up, Zach sweeps his electromagnetic detector as over the cauldron, and it's just spiking through the roof.
Oh god.
So an electromagnetic conductor or detector basically measures electromagnetic field. So if you go over something that has a lot of electricity, it's going to spike.
Yeah.
So what they do usually in paranormal investigations, they shut down all the power. Oh god, it's so windy outside. You have a storm coming through. I'm just wigging out. So basically, the reason why they do that is if it's in a non-electrical space and it picks up on electricity, that means there might be a spirit nearby, or something in that area has a lot of energy being held. So when he passes it over this cauldron, a lot of energy is kicking off.
Yeah.
So Zach is like, okay, well, maybe it's just the building. So he scans it everywhere else and it's at 0. But the moment he puts it on this cauldron, it just spikes like crazy. It's really interesting. They get it on camera and it's like, so after this, they get a spirit box, which spirit box goes through multiple different radio channels.
Yeah.
And the spirit's supposed to be able to like pick out certain words and speak to you through that. So he puts it through onto the cauldron. Zach gets this certain spirit box called the SP7 spirit box out, and they start to communicate. Suddenly, an unexplained female voice comes out of the radio static and says, "I'm here." Suddenly, a shrill voice comes through and says, "Evil."
Oh god.
And when this happens, a massive door violently slams behind the crew down in the hall.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. Zach asks what is keeping you attached to this cauldron, and a shrill voice answers back with, "Death."
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Oh my god, goosebumps.
Oh, I don't like that.
Aaron, another investigator, asks Ed's spirit if it likes other people owning its items, and the spirit speaks back fast and says no.
Yeah.
Aaron then asks the spirit of Ed if it likes being with its new owner and new home, aka Zach Bagans, and it says yes. Very loud and very long.
I'm wondering if it's because now it's getting more attention.
With this small investigation, Zach does now officially say that this object is haunted, and now it is added to his museum.
Yep.
And Dolores and I went to go visit that cauldron, and it has its own little room. They had a set designer from American Horror Story design its little room for it, and it is very scary. And I know the medium and witch.
It was the White Witch
Pat,
and the Dark Witch.
Yeah. Pat Nagiri, also called as Bloody Mary, I think is her name. I think she's the one that did like a ritual in it to contact Ed.
No.
Or was it someone else?
Someone else.
Okay.
She did her own rituals with the dolls.
That's what it was.
The White Witch and the Dark Witch. I forgot their names.
Yeah.
They were the Dark Witch was the one that took, I forgot his name. From Ghost Adventures.
Aaron?
No.
Jay.
Might have been Jay.
Okay.
I can't remember. One of them. To help with the ritual. And asked if it was willing to be open to it and everything, and to provide blood. Yeah, it was intense. And when they did the ritual, I think she added herbs inside the cauldron. She added his blood as an offering, took the shovel, had him hold it, walk around the cauldron several times to cut through the energy and open up a sense of like a portal to see what the fuck we can get through and try to talk to Ed.
No fucking thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So then I'm not meaning to steal your story.
No. No, it's scary.
Yeah.
And we have to see that. You can still see the stuff that was inside of the cauldron.
Yeah, because it was the spices. She added tobacco. I don't think you can really see the blood in there anymore, but you can see the herbs and everything still sitting in there, and it's now encased
in glass.
Yep. And I think it had salt around it too.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Zach just mentioned, that whole set itself, super eerie. Super freaky. He really did a great job with that set designer, and it even smelled like an old dusty barn.
Yeah.
Oh, it was pretty gnarly.
Y'all, and then too, they don't have AC in that room, so it feels like a hot summer's day in there. I mean, it's already hot in Vegas, but it was just something else. So this cauldron is in Zach Bacon's museum, and along with the shovel and the skis, which I didn't see it in there when we went. Maybe they might have talked about it, but they didn't. Oh, another thing I mentioned too is that Courtney and Derek, because they were going to bring the skis over, they didn't have the skis with them at this interview because it was being shipped, because they refused to fly with it on the plane.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. So they're like, it's going to be shipped here.
Imagine. Oh my God.
Oh,
imagine.
yeah, no thank you. Oh, they could have died.
What could have happened? Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
And that concludes part 3 of Ed Gein.
Wow.
It was intense. This last one was, for some reason, more intense than others.
As a side part, we should look up and see how Zach got the skin, because I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Because he said it is. I remember the tour guide saying this is one of.
Well, I know there's another podcast I listened to, Morbid, or was it? And That's What We Drink. It was That's Why We Drink. No, was it? Yes. That's What We Drink? Morbid? I can't remember. Both really great podcasts. They covered an episode on Zach Bacon's Haunted Museum, and they talked about trying to get research information from the museum. Remember that one room where she tried to communicate with angels and demons through speakers?
I hate
and she
that
ended up being
room.
possessed, and there was like Polaroids and everything.
That was so sad.
Yeah, well, she tried to get information from the museum because she wanted to do a case on it, and they wouldn't give her any information because they want people to come into the museum and learn.
Yeah.
It was kind of a hassle, but one of that podcast's listeners was related to that lady.
No.
And she wrote in a lot of information that no one knew about, and Zach Bagans actually ended up reaching that person that wrote in a long time ago, because they want to do a documentary on this lady.
Yeah.
I have to find that podcast for you, because it's terrifying, because they even talk more about it.
Oh.
Yeah. So
that story itself is just
it's wild.
sad,
that one's wild.
Traumatic, wild.
But I hope you guys really enjoyed this last bit of Ed Gein. And I'm glad to be not talking about him anymore, because he's gross and disgusting, and the fact that he did that to people is just insane to me.
Yeah, this one made me
queasy,
pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I just
Well, let's end this on a light note.
I need a joke.
I got a joke. Let's lighten the mood. And we're back, and I have a joke that matches very well with Ed Gein.
Great.
What does a serial killer do when he finds Waldo?
Oh no, what?
Where's Waldo?
Where's
Waldo? I hate that. Oh no!
So cringy.
Oh,
that was like my joke.
But that's dark. That's dark as fuck. But here's another to lighten it just a little bit.
Okay.
There's a serial killer who only kills priests on a Sunday morning. I guess you can call him a mass murderer.
Okay,
that was good. That was funny. Thank you guys for listening, and good luck trying to sleep tonight. And next time, the next podcast you'll be hearing, we'll be doing it virtually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, which we're going to practice tonight and figure that out.
I'm still really uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, let's go drink.
Yeah, it's St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. Thank you guys for listening. Please follow us on Instagram at
campinsomnia_podcast.
You can follow us on Twitter at
Camp Insomnia.
And you can also find our link tree in the description bio of this podcast, where we are listed everything and everything.
Every platform.
And also, please share with other people. We need campers.
Yes, we do.
We need to replace Timmy and Tommy. We kicked them out.
We already lost 2. So
we already lost 2. We need 2 replacements, yo.
Well, we need more than 2.
Yeah, we need a lot. But thank you guys for listening. And we will catch you later. Bye, guys. Bye. I'm going to go wear that Waldo. Put him on my booty.
Oh, God. Straight snow.